Did you know that only a few factors account for 9% of fatalities after the age of 75? Many people believe that dying young is just a natural part of life. However, the majority of deaths are caused by preventable dangers that are frequently disregarded until it is too late. The issue is that most people's alternatives are restricted and their health has already deteriorated by the time they understand what's occurring. However, if you are aware of these risks, you can take precautions and prolong your life in ways you never would have imagined. The 5 main causes of death for people over 70, which account for almost all deaths in this age range, will be revealed in this video. You may be surprised by some of these, while others may seem apparent. However, one thing is for sure, the first step in preventing them is understanding them. These aren't merely figures. They reflect actual people, families, and decisions that could make the difference between a long, happy life and health issues. Because these 5 causes are not unavoidable, pay attention to the very end. In actuality, many people have extended their lives by years or even decades, lowered their risk considerably, and maintained their independence for longer by making minor but important changes. How strong, active, and independent you are in the years to come may rely on the choices you make today. Let's get going now. First, cardiac illness. First, cardiac. Many people are unaware of their true power over heart disease, despite it being the leading cause of death for those over 75. Like any muscle, the heart can either remain robust with proper care or deteriorate over time due to neglect. The issue is that warning indicators aren't often obvious until the harm has been done. Many individuals believe that becoming older just means slowing down, feeling exhausted, or having trouble breathing. In actuality, though, these can indicate that your heart isn't as powerful as it once was, and that's something to be aware of. High blood pressure is one of the main causes of heart disease. It causes tremendous strain on your arteries over time, making your heart work harder than it has to. You don't feel it, which is the tricky thing. Until you have a heart attack or stroke, there is no pain, no evident signs, and no warning to act. This explains why so many people over 75 end up in the hospital unexpectedly, asking how they got there when they were feeling well only a few days earlier. A bad diet is another key factor. Processed meals, too much salt, and bad fats accumulate over decades, blocking arteries and decreasing circulation. The majority of individuals are unaware that consuming the correct foods is just as important as avoiding unhealthy ones. Your heart needs fuel to function properly, and damage occurs far more quickly than you may realize if your diet is deficient in heart-healthy nutrients. There is also a deficiency of mobility. The purpose of the heart is not to remain still all day. Your heart doesn't get the workout it needs to remain strong when you stop moving, your muscles deteriorate, and your circulation slows down. Running marathons is not necessary, but maintaining an active lifestyle in any way that suits you, whether it be walking, stretching, or even easy chair exercises, keeps your heart beating effectively and significantly lowers your risk of developing heart disease. Assuming that heart disease is a result of fate is the worst mistake people make. They think it's a natural part of aging, or they hear about family members who suffered heart attacks. In actuality, though, little decisions made consistently pile up. What you eat, how you move, and how you handle stress all affect whether your heart continues to be strong or starts to fail. If you learn one thing from this, it's that you have more control over the health of your heart than you may realize. Your heart's resilience during the coming years might be influenced by the decisions you make today. When is the greatest moment to begin safeguarding it? Now. Falls and injuries come in second. After the age of 75, falls are one of the most dangerous and often disregarded risks. It occurs in a split second. One slip, one moment of lightheadedness, one slick floor, and all of a sudden everything is different. Even a relatively minor bruise, a head injury, or a shattered hip can swiftly turn into a catastrophic, life-threatening situation. What's the actual risk? Until it's too late, most people are unaware of their vulnerability. This is startling. One of the leading causes of injury-related mortality among the elderly is falls. Each year, they are responsible for millions of ER visits. Additionally, a single fall causes a deterioration from which many people never fully recover. A hip fracture can result in months of bed rest, diminished mobility, and a higher risk of complications and infections. Even still, most individuals don't take fall prevention seriously until they or a loved one has experienced one personally, despite how common it is. The issue is that as we become older, we gradually lose our sense of balance, muscle strength, and reaction speed. However, because this occurs so gradually, we are not usually aware of it. Walking around your house and going about your everyday business may seem fine to you, but one day gravity will take over as you reach for something and lose your equilibrium. Simply put, the body no longer recovers as quickly as it used to. Furthermore, what was once a small slip can today cause severe damage. This is something that exacerbates the situation. More falls are caused by fear of falling. After one near miss, a lot of seniors begin to completely avoid moving. They quit taking walks. They stay away from staircases. They restrict their activities because they are afraid. However, your muscles weaken the less you move. Additionally, you have a higher risk of falling if your muscles weaken. It's a terrible cycle that may swiftly take away your freedom. Here's the good news, though. Falls are not always going to happen. In actuality, there are easy yet effective methods to significantly lower your risk. Enhancing your balance, strengthening your legs and core, and implementing little house improvements like installing solid handrails, non-slip carpets, and better lighting can make the difference between suffering a life-altering injury and continuing to be active and independent. Side effects from medications are another neglected aspect. Numerous medications result in drowsiness, dizziness, or blood pressure changes that increase the risk of falling. Your body is telling you that something needs to be altered if you've ever stood up too quickly and felt dizzy. You can save your life by discussing your drugs with your doctor, ensuring they aren't interfering with your health, and being aware of how they impact your balance. It takes more than merely tripping over something to fall. It's about remaining resilient, steady, and conscious of the small details that can have a significant impact. Because one fall can change everything after the age of 75. Furthermore, years of sustained mobility, independence, and a much improved quality of life could be achieved by adopting the appropriate safeguards now. Please let me know in the second remark below if you're still watching this video and finding these ideas helpful. To ensure you don't miss any videos, I advise you to subscribe and turn on the bell if you haven't already. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. Let's go ahead now. Respiratory disorders come in third. We take breathing for granted until it becomes challenging. Our lungs' capacity to function is diminished as we age. Furthermore, even small respiratory problems might rapidly worsen. Simple symptoms like coughing or dyspnea might develop into infections, long-term illnesses, and even hospitalization. Furthermore, respiratory illnesses rank among the top causes of death after the age of 75, not because they cannot be prevented, but rather because they are frequently disregarded until it is too late. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, which encompasses emphysema and chronic bronchitis, is one of the most dangerous conditions. Breathing becomes increasingly difficult as the airways get irritated over time. Many elderly people dismiss symptoms like wheezing, coughing frequently, or feeling out of breath as a natural aspect of aging. In actuality, though, these are indicators that your lungs want assistance, and pneumonia comes next. Pneumonia may appear like any other infection, but it poses a much greater risk to older folks. As people age, their body's defenses against infections deteriorate, making congestion, which begins as a cold or moderate chest, a potentially fatal illness. Pneumonia is a major cause of hospitalizations over the age of 75. Additionally, too frequently, the illness causes a sharp deterioration in health from which some people never fully recover. Poor air quality is another significant concern. The lungs suffer over time from exposure to dust, pollutants, and secondhand smoke. Mold, pet dander, and indoor pollutants can exacerbate respiratory issues even within the house without you being aware of it. Additionally, these irritants exacerbate symptoms of pre-existing illnesses like asthma or COPD. Small changes like using air purifiers, reducing smoke exposure, or enhancing indoor air quality can have a big impact on lung health. Being active is one of the easiest yet most efficient strategies to maintain healthy lungs. Many individuals are unaware that exercise is necessary for the lungs to function correctly, just like it is for any other area of the body. Your lungs fully expand as you exercise, maintaining their health and removing accumulated mucus. However, prolonged sitting weakens lung function and increases susceptibility to infections because your lungs aren't working as hard. Your lungs can remain stronger for longer with even simple exercises like stretching or walking. Getting the appropriate vaccines is another important consideration. The significance of vaccinations against influenza, pneumonia, and other respiratory diseases is often overlooked by elderly people. However, the risk of serious infections can be significantly decreased by taking some easy precautions. It goes beyond simply avoiding a cold. The goal is to avoid issues that might send you to the hospital or worse. A minor action, such as maintaining current vaccinations, can make the difference between a minor ailment and a major medical emergency. It should never be difficult to breathe. But it does for a lot of folks over 75. It's because they don't respond quickly enough, not because it has to. You spend every moment of your life with your lungs, caring for, protecting, and strengthening them in order to keep you alive. One of the most effective ways to improve your independence and health is to prevent illness. Stroke is number 4. A stroke occurs unexpectedly and without notice, and life can change irrevocably in 1 second. After the age of 70, it is among the main causes of death. However, a lot of individuals are unaware of how many risk factors and early warning indicators are under their control. The issue is that you don't always get another chance after a stroke. The harm is frequently irreversible once it occurs. However, the majority of individuals are unaware of this. It is possible to avoid up to 80% of strokes. This implies that the decisions you make today may influence whether you continue to be independent or experience a life-altering incident. A stroke happens when a blood artery bursts or when blood flow to the brain is abruptly cut off. Within minutes, brain cells start to die as a result. The damage increases with the length of time the brain is oxygen depleted. Small strokes can only result in momentary disorientation or mild weakening. Others, however, render victims speechless, paralyzed, or totally reliant on others. Furthermore, a stroke is deadly in far too many instances. Elevated blood pressure is a major risk factor. Excessive pressure weakens the arteries over time, increasing the risk of rupture or blockage. Furthermore, high blood pressure frequently exhibits no symptoms, much like heart disease. This explains why so many people go about their lives totally oblivious that they are at risk until an unexpected stroke happens. One more significant factor: abnormal cardiac rhythms such as atrial fibrillation, AFib. This is a common occurrence for elders who are unaware of it. Additionally, blood can pool and develop clots when the heart beats unevenly. One of those clots can quickly result in a stroke if it makes its way to the brain. The good news? Early detection of these problems can be achieved with a basic medical examination, and treatment can significantly reduce your risk. Then there is lifestyle and diet. Lack of activity causes blood to thicken and circulation to decrease, while eating too many processed foods, too much salt, and unhealthy fats raises the risk of strokes. Maintaining a healthy blood pressure, eating nutrient-rich foods, and being active are the greatest ways to lower your risk. Little adjustments like increasing water intake, reducing sodium intake, and consuming more leafy greens can have a big impact. Mini strokes, also known as transient ischemic attacks or TIAs, are one condition that is frequently disregarded. These strokes are brief, lasting only a few minutes, and the symptoms may go away in an hour. Many people disregard them, thinking they were experiencing temporary vertigo or other symptoms. Here's the reality though. Your body uses a transient ischemic attack, TIA, as a precursor to a massive stroke. Even if it goes away, don't disregard abrupt slurred speech, numbness in one side of the body, blurred vision, or disorientation that you or someone you know feels. Getting medical help right away could make the difference between a stroke and its potentially fatal outcomes. The most crucial thing to keep in mind: you can lower your risk of having a stroke. You may stay independent and prevent the life-altering effects of a stroke by regularly checking your blood pressure, eating a heart-healthy diet, being active, and recognizing the early warning signals. Your chances of defending yourself increase with the time you act. Please let me know you're still watching this video and finding these ideas helpful by leaving a comment in number 4 below. To ensure you don't miss any videos, I advise you to subscribe and turn on the bell if you haven't already. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. Let's go ahead now. 5th, cognitive decline and related complications. The gradual loss of memory, thinking, and independence is one of the most depressing aspects of aging. Cognitive deterioration takes time to manifest. It gradually infiltrates and makes minor adjustments that are initially simple to ignore. However, those minor mistakes grow into something more significant as the years go by. The capacity to handle everyday responsibilities, identify well-known faces, or make wise choices starts to wane. Furthermore, it's more than simply an annoyance for many. It becomes potentially fatal. Alzheimer's disease and dementia endanger the whole body in addition to the mind. The capacity to look after one's own health deteriorates along with cognitive function. It gets harder and harder to remember to take prescription drugs, eat a healthy diet, or identify signs of a disease. Dehydration can be problematic since many elderly people with dementia neglect to drink enough water. Others might overeat or undereat, which could lead to weight gain or nutritional deficiencies and raise their chance of developing other severe illnesses. However, one of the most significant risks: mishaps. Walking outside in dangerous conditions, forgetting to turn off the stove, or leaving the door unsecured at night. All of these hazards become lethal as cognitive impairment worsens, and losing their freedom is a terrible reality for a lot of seniors. Without the right care, their health deteriorates even more quickly, and they could no longer be able to live comfortably alone. The most terrifying aspect? Many people wait until cognitive impairment has progressed before realizing they are experiencing it. Early symptoms include losing critical belongings, having trouble following discussions, or forgetting names are frequently dismissed as normal aging. In actuality, though, these minor indicators are your brain's method of alerting you to a change. Your prospects of halting the progression and preserving a clear, healthy mind for many years to come are better the sooner you act. Among the finest methods for brain protection: maintaining mental activity. The brain requires training to maintain its strength, just like your body's muscles do. Your brain stays active and lowers the risk of cognitive decline when you read, develop new skills, solve puzzles, or even have in-depth conversations. And here's something that a lot of folks forget. As vital to brain health as mental activity is physical exercise. Movement helps preserve memory and cognitive function by increasing blood flow to the brain. Another crucial element: social engagement. Loneliness and isolation significantly accelerate mental deterioration. It is literally possible to keep your brain sharper for longer by having regular talks, getting together with friends, and participating in the community. Your mind gets more resilient the more you push it with novel events and significant relationships. Naturally, diet also has a big impact. Brain health is directly impacted by what you consume. Vitamins, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids, which are present in foods like leafy greens, berries, and nuts, help prevent cognitive deterioration. However, excessive consumption of sugar, processed foods, and unhealthy fats raises the risk of dementia by causing inflammation in the brain. A healthy body is the foundation of a healthy brain. Additionally, the decisions you make now can influence how you think and behave in the years to come. Aging does not always result in cognitive decline. You may drastically lower your risk by taking the appropriate actions now, maintaining an active lifestyle, staying socially active, and making wise food choices. Your brain functions similarly to every other bodily element. It remains stronger the more you tend to it. Last words. As we conclude this video, pause to consider all that we have discussed: cognitive decline, heart disease, falls, respiratory problems, and stroke. Almost all fatalities after the age of 75 are caused by these 5 factors. Here's what you should keep in mind, though. They are not unavoidable. The majority of individuals are unaware of how much power they truly own over their own health, and it's frequently too late by the time they do. The truth is that you may gain years of strength, clarity, and independence in your life by making simple, consistent decisions that begin today. Ignoring these hazards doesn't make them go away, but nobody wants to consider getting older. The good news is that power comes from awareness. You don't have to live in constant fear of what lies ahead if you recognize the warning signals, take preventative action, and prioritize your health. You can concentrate on strength, longevity, and living life to the fullest rather than constraints. Now consider your own daily routine. Do you have any areas where you could improve a little bit? Perhaps it's eating better, exercising more, visiting the doctor frequently, or maintaining an active social and mental life. Whatever it is, keep in mind that you don't need to make all the changes at once. You can start along the path to improved health and a longer, more fulfilling life with just one tiny step in the right way. Your health is your most valuable resource at this point in your life. You can spend more time with your loved ones if you safeguarded it. Continue to be independent and live without worrying about avoidable health problems. You have a chance to look after yourself every day, and how strong and capable you are in the years to come will depend on the decisions you make today. We appreciate you being here with us today. We would be delighted to hear from you. Tell us about one thing you learned today and how you intend to apply it in your life in the comments section below. We value your opinions, so please feel free to express them. We are greatly inspired and encouraged by reading your remarks. Please like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it entertaining and useful. We can keep producing high-quality content to educate and uplift you thanks to your support. Thank you for viewing, and we hope to see you in the upcoming video.